Alright, welcome to today's daily rant, and this is probably, maybe I'm off topic, maybe I'm out of my mind, but I do have to posit the question. Was Nelson Mandela murdered for political gain? Well, we already know he was imprisoned for political gain. We already know that they did everything in their power for several years to get rid of this man, and he wouldn't fold, he wouldn't give in, he wouldn't give up. Who knows what he's endured when he was in lockdown? Who knows what kind of things he was subjected to? Who knows if maybe there wasn't some MK Ultra stuff involved? All we do know is that Nelson Mandela started off as a revolutionary figure, and we will at this time take our hats off to the man. We will respect Nelson Mandela for who he truly was, not for the political side of, like, once he became elected, and he did a lot wonderful there. I kind of like the old school Mandela, if you ask me, the guy who just wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it. He stuck up. He did what had to be done. He was a hero. I mean, I'm sorry, but the man was a hero. I can't say it in any greater capacity. I mean, he really was a hero. So with that being said, I can't help but see how the powers that be work, the people that really want to maintain power, because you got to remember, South Africa was under apartheid for quite some time, and it was a British colony. It wasn't easy for those white people to relinquish their power in that region. So I wonder, and I have questions, but nonetheless I will not detract from who Mandela truly was as a human being. But I see currently a power struggle, a global power struggle, and I see the United States kind of leading the charge, which concerns me because it's not our job to police the world. It's not our responsibility to hold leaders accountable. And all these countries that we seem to be invading under the guise of liberating, we're really not liberating them. I mean, the fact that the story goes much deeper than that, and I just really want to scratch the surface at this point. In my film, I will go much deeper. It hurts my soul to see people suffer. It hurts my soul to see dreams die and see heroes taken down. And so I wonder, and I posit the question, was Mandela murdered? Is it possible? Maybe it's a question. I would love evidence. If you have it, you can email it to me. It's admin@wisbin.com. But when you smell BS, it could be just, that a wonderful world leader had passed on. And I offer my absolute apology to the family and to anyone else who takes this in a disrespectful manner. But the truth is what's more important. My question is it possible that Nelson Mandela was murdered for political reasons? And I say that because, now America is under this umbrella of hope, if you want to call it that, that I see more and more racial tensions growing, especially now. When we had white presidents, the level of racial tension depends on which administration, of course. When we had Clinton in office, I'll use that as a great example. Racial tension was down to probably the lowest it's been in my generation. The minute we had a president with darker colored skin, I refrained from calling him black, and because the reason being is I've been in contact and been in conversations with people who are from the pro-black movement that say that he is not black, and then I've got people on the other side of the white people that say if you don't like Obama's policies that you are racist. So I guess I'm a little bit confused on how racism plays into the whole Obama being president thing. I don't really see a long laundry list of things that he has done or should have done for black people. Mainly creating a true equality, giving or empowering black people, and you can do it in the simplest way. It doesn't have to be. Obviously, 40 acres and a mule is a little outdated. What are you going to do with 48 acres and a mule? I don't even know what to do with 40 acres and a mule, but it would be nice to have black people displayed in our media. When they do something good, we should absolutely, when there's a new achievement, when there's a new strive, when there's a new advancement, we should absolutely pride that, and we don't. We only do it with white people. When you look at your local news and you hear the crimes, you don't hear so much about the white people. It's more the 4 black teenagers and 4 black this and 2 black that, and and it's always negative imagery toward black people. So that builds that psychological circumference that allows people to believe in the stereotypical behaviors. Also, we don't have the resources available, and we haven't, because white people have had generation after generation and generation and generation of having some sort of privilege, and the black people don't. So they have to work twice as hard for half as much. That's why I feel for them, because I'm in the same boat. Not so much because of the color of my skin, because I can testify that I've seen racism full blown right in my face and couldn't believe it. I could not believe that what I was seeing. But I will tell you this. First off, talking to people that I know in the movement, talking to Griff, I asked him what white people can do, and he said, start being honest. So let's do that. Let's start there. Let's be honest. We're all the same, fundamentally. Yes, we have different circumstances, but if we can first start realizing that we are all part of the same human family, that you could take a heart transplant from one to the other. You can get blood transfusions from one to the other. The only thing that truly divides us is a skin color and a culture, and that culture. Both cultures, I'm not gonna lie, have been stolen. Our culture in general has been stolen from everybody. All cultures have been stolen by the Illuminati and the New World Order, world elites. The last thing they want is people to say, whoa, 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 you're not taking from me. You're not taking from my neighbor. People don't unify anymore. And so I think the first step in racial unity should be true education. True education. We talk about all the wonderful things that white people did, but we don't talk about what Asian people have done. You telling me that there's never been an Asian person who has given something amazing to humanity? The only person I can think of is Bruce Lee, and that was one of my heroes, but they don't teach that in public school. What about Native Americans? Are you telling me that Native Americans never did anything positive for humanity? Are you kidding me? They were the greatest conservatives of the land, and they only used what they needed, and they recycled. All this recycling stuff and all this green stuff that y'all talking about now, man, these cats had it down thousands of years ago, and we're still gonna argue that we're just now figuring it out. Black people, they have contributed so many things to this community of the human life, this human family, and yet we don't teach any of that in our schools. What black people get Black History Month, so February is Black History Month. They get 1 month. The other 11 months are White History Month. It's ridiculous. There's an inequality, and and this is what I really want. I want middle class and poor white people to understand this more than anything, because you will understand me, because we have something in common. I could easily talk to black people, but they're not going to trust me because they've been lied to by white people their whole life. So why go that route? Let me get in where I fit in and realize that my job is to educate white people. to realize that we're all being shafted, and they're playing us against each other. So they tell us, oh, those are the enemy. The Mexicans are the enemy. The black people are the enemy. Because they don't want us to realize that they are the enemy, the global elite. Global elite. And I'll tell you what, they're not racist. Okay? There are black people in the global elite. There are Asians in the global elite. There are Arabs in the global elite. There are every color, creed, religion. As long as you are Luciferian by nature, then you get to reap the benefits. And it trickles down. Reaganomics stuff. It didn't make any sense to economists. They're like, we don't get this. Of course you don't get it, because it was never meant to be gotten. You've never been taught the truth of what really exists in this world. You don't understand who you are. How can you understand how you are either more alike the person next to you or more different than them? All you can see is what you've been told. And I see this right-left paradigm not just with the Republicans and Democrats, but I also see it in racism. I see white people that are incredibly racist against all. If you're not white, then F off. You know, you are nothing. You are subservient. I've seen black people do it. Okay, and I'm going to show you where this comes from. Okay, on this hand, this is the left hand, by the way. It doesn't matter which hand it is, but let's say this is the origin of man. Okay. Now, anybody who's done any amount of research realizes that all humanity started from black people. They were the first race on Earth. Okay? The last race on Earth, white people. Okay? Now, if you take into that account and you look at Darwinism, the theory, and it's not the law, it's the theory of evolution, mind you, that says that over time things evolve. They become better, greater. They become more superior because they've weeded out the weaklings. That, you know, and if you look at history, you see Hitler with his perfect race scenario, because he believed that white people had evolved, and at the same time they had been robbed of their nature because black people and white people have interbred, and so we need to cleanse and purify the white Aryan race. And then now you see the black people doing the exact fucking same thing. That, oh my God, the white man is the enemy. You cannot breed with a white person because we are black, we are pure, we were the origin. So if you look at the origin and then you look at the first and the last races, the first race, their argument is we were here first, we were pure, we were godly, we were God's creation. And then you look at the newer race, which is the white race, the Aryans and the whatever you want to call them. They say that, well, we have evolved. You know, you guys are more like monkeys, and we're more intelligent and more creative, and we're better than you. So each race is playing this racial game of who's better. And I don't see any validity in the evolution process because it hasn't been proven. In fact, it's been disproven on several accounts, and I'm not even going to get into that argument right now. Am I saying that black people are better? No, not at all. I'm saying that we're equal. And if we could just get on that level, and if we could start treating each other, and if we could start having an equal playing field, if you can start engaging in business with all races and religions and cultures instead of being compartmentalized, like divide and conquer, because there are a group of people above you. Okay, they talk about the underprivileged. Well, the only way there's an underprivileged class if there's an overprivileged class. And so, with that being said, there's a group of people, and they get it. They're all kinds of united. There's black, whites, Latinos. I mean, you name it. I mean, look at the people in the Supreme Court. Look at the people in our government. You telling me Colin Powell isn't Illuminati? You telling me that Barack Obama's not Illuminati? You really think that some black guy just ran for president? He came out of frickin' nowhere, and all of a sudden, no, because America wanted a black president. They wanted change, and there was a lot of discourse with the Bush regime in the Clinton administration and the Bush regime before that. It led itself. These people are playing chess, and you're losing. Okay? and they play on your heartstrings, they play on your emotions. And it's not that you shouldn't be emotional, it's just that you should be educated enough to know what you should be emotional about. This, like Brzezinski said, man, the grand chessboard, everything that they're doing is a chess game. They're using us against each other. And you and I are going to argue, and there's going to be a million hate posts below me. There's going to be white people calling me a race traitor. There's going to be black people calling me, well, you just wish you were black. I don't wish I was anything. I'm glad I am who I am. Okay? I'm me. I think the greatest saying that I heard recently was somebody said, there's brothers and there's others. Okay, this is the black perspective. There's brothers and there's others. Well, some brothers aren't brothers and some others aren't others. So, for those people who are overly pro-black, please acknowledge this of all things, that not every person of dark skin color it has your best interest in mind. In fact, the majority of them don't. But I will tell you that, as a whole, if we do unite, we do outnumber them. So you're going to have to get over that racial barrier. I don't know how we do it. I'm open for suggestion, please. I'm open all day. I have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so God gave me that so I could listen twice as much as I talk. I want to hear the solutions. So that's my daily rant. This has been one of my longest daily rants in a long time. But my question was Mandela murdered for political gain? Is it possible? Is it possible that they took out one black man so that they can take this other black man whose ratings are like down to nothing and lift him back up? And who is Obama? I mean, we can go dive into that. Who is this guy? I know who he is, but I'm questioning, do you know who he is? I have no problem with there being a black president. In fact, I will be the first one to nominate right now Cynthia McKinney. First female president and the first real black president, let's be honest. I think Clinton was probably more black than Obama, but a lot of people will argue that too. I don't think we've had a real president in my lifetime, but I would love to see Cynthia McKinney as the next presidential candidate in this country. So that's what I'm pushing for. Cynthia McKinney. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby pick Cynthia McKinney to run for president. I don't care which party. She could run for the Republican Party for all I care. I'll vote for her. Cynthia McKinney. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the hope for the world, the real hope. None of this Nelson Mandela stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the guy. I love his original stuff. I'm convinced, and I can't wait till the evidence comes out, I'm convinced that he was murdered to prop up Obama. And those of you who do any amount of research know there's a whole lot of stuff behind Obama that we need to talk about later. But I love you guys. This is Eric from We Are Change, BAP Nation. Please comment on this one.